Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Genshin reaction. I'm sorry if my tone is a little bit lower than usual. I am on a medically diagnosed vocal rest right now, so I have to keep my energy low because that's a part of the whole issue, but that'll be done after about a week, so don't worry about this being a constant thing anymore. It's more of a preventative deal. That aside, we are going to be listening to Where the Current Flows into Eternity. This is Skirk's teaser theme, I believe it said, and this was requested by Yoshigi in the comments of the last one. And they did also ask if I could watch the trailers and teasers with them, and I do tend to stay away from those because of spoiler issues, but also because of sound effects. Those tend to step all over the character themes, and sometimes they're even edited and I don't get the full song. So at large, I just stick to the main songs. I know that there's some context with the characters I would be missing by not doing the trailers themselves, but with all the other stuff that tends to stack on top of the music, I just want to focus on that. So it's nothing against them, it's just more of a I can't do that consistently without getting lucky, basically, if I want to hear the actual song. So that all aside, without further ado, let's go! What's weird is this video actually had like the purple text when I looked up the song name, which means I probably have listened to it, or maybe I was going to. But I looked on my channel and I didn't see it. And it's not sounding familiar. So I think it was one of those ones where I just didn't move. Ooh. That shift there. Sorry. Got sidetracked. Ooh. Where the hell did that come from? Oh. Uplifting, a good progression on that. But I could also see where it would resolve and settle downward. They might do that. Maybe at the end? No. Haven't done it yet. Had a lot of intensity kind of come out of nowhere. Oh, they didn't do the whole sinking down thing. Oh. Went back to the root though. This is very... Hello. I always think it's about to be done. It's only 2 minutes, right? You're done this time, right? Yes, okay. God, that kept coming in and out. Like, I swore I was here for 2 minutes already the first time it almost stopped. But then there was like 2 more movements after that, and each time it kept building back into this higher energy. Damn! So as you probably heard there, my throat was starting to get a little bit raw at the end of that. That's why I'm on the vocal rest thing, but that's beside the point. For this song, gorgeous chord progression. I love how simple this one is. It is a beautiful just B flat, C, D minor. That's most of it, honestly. There's like 1 or 2 times where it goes up to F, and then there's that one chord that I was like, ooh, that caught me off guard near the beginning. That was G minor, and that does fit in the key, but the reason that it doesn't feel quite right is because it follows the C. So it immediately settles back down into something that feels a little bit more sour compared to the very natural movement up we were getting from B to C to D that usually feels like a great step up because it's going a B, a C, and a D. So it's literally like stepping up the keyboard on the notes, the names. It's right there, B, C, D. You know how the alphabet works. It's very similar here. So by kind of taking that away and settling back down into something that is much lower, it immediately makes your brain go, whoa, that's different. And again, it's not that it's not in the same key. That would usually be the sort of thing done here, would be taking a chord and borrowing it from a parallel key or something that wouldn't necessarily feel like it fits. This one does. It just feels wrong due to the placement in the song, and I think that's a really cool use of a chord in a key, is just using one that you haven't used yet. Throw them a curveball. You know, you don't have to do something too crazy like borrowing it from a different key. Sometimes you can just use what is in your arsenal to a very creative and very effective result. And that's, again, exactly what happened here. And I did mention that there was like some movement to like up to F, which does happen. And this is actually a progression that I've played around with a few times and I've been wanting to like turn into something more fleshed out because I love the way it sounds, but I do it a little bit differently on how I end it, because like I mentioned, it just kind of goes up and then it does use that F, but from there it tends to settle back and start the cycle back in this song. What I used to do was more of this. And I love that separation, being able to really spread this note wide open and just have that whole bit there. It basically takes the one set and goes back down to the B flat and takes the other finger and just goes up to the singular D on the octave above. And that just always sounded so good to me. I never knew why, but it's something that I've been wanting to turn into like a full composition for years, and I've just never been able to do it. And that's why I'm trying to do music theory stuff now, is to try and flesh out ideas like that I've had and I've played around with, but I've never known how to give them a name or anything. I've never known where to take them aside from little snippets of ideas I've just accidentally stumbled upon. But enough about that. There's actually another little thing that happens in this song too. When it goes up to that F, there's a moment that it goes up to this, which is an F sharp minor. And that transition is interesting because this doesn't really use any of the notes that are within this key, at least none that would be sensible to use. So that is an interesting chord to have. That F sharp minor just is what makes this song have that little like, ooh, that's a weird sort of transition. And I do love those. On top of that, the rest of the song, just moving through the way it does, bringing in that energy the way it does, is very impressive to me, because again, I was caught off guard like 3 times by this song, the way it just kind of kept faking you out and ending that one time on the B flat there just to make you think that it was going to be done. But it wasn't. It had more to offer. It's just a lot of the emotion behind what they're going through and how this song is representing that. So there's a lot of turbulence in this song, a lot of sure moments that are a little bit more calm, and it follows that standard progression that we've been talking about. But there are these moments that sink down into the G minor and some that lift up into the F, and it's like, ooh, you know, like there's a lot of dynamic shifting in this song and in tone as well, between the softer beginning and then like the more electronic kind of stuff in the center. Not too much, but it definitely changes the mood and tone throughout. So it goes like kind of like the waves do in the ocean. It's one moment it can be the nicest, calmest day out in the sea, and then all of a sudden a storm rolls in and there are waves the size of a 50-story building, and you don't know what to do with that. It's a lot. And having that come and go in these waves in the song, I think, is a perfect reflection of Skirk. I don't know Skirk as a character all that well, but I have seen and dealt with some of her visuals before. I did a video on one of her things. I think it was like a teaser or something. And it made sense. You know, the second I heard this song, I'm like, oh, you know, this tracks with what I know of the character and what they would be trying to get the listener and viewer to understand as well. And they always nail that. I haven't really found a Genshin song that doesn't really meet expectations, at least on the character. I know last week I was kind of iffy on the Veressa one, but I think it like matches her. It's just compared to the Durin one, I don't think it got quite as much love, and I think it was more of an afterthought. That was kind of its own thing. For this, though, I think this, much like the Durin one, matches the character very well, and they get those emotional struggles and that emotional turbulence in there really nicely without going too far away from the center and main goal of the song. So in general, really fucking good. I don't have much else to add on it beside that. It's just a really good song. They always do their best, and they always come out with something that is absolutely bopping. And again, this chord progression really got me excited because I love playing with that. And I just like, maybe this will be the thing that sparks me to finish something with that chord progression, because I have ideas now that I've been fleshing out about things that could compare and connect with that. But either way, it was a beautiful song. I'm glad I got to listen to it. And of course, if you have something else you want me to get to, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. I will not be having this throat thing next week. This is just a 1 week long sort of vocal rest to see how things go. There's no like permanent damage yet or anything. It's just preventative, so no worries there. I will be back to it. It's just more I don't want to push myself too far and end up regretting it later. So if you want to follow me and support me and all that, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!